When we were youngsters, we weren't aware of these kind of sessions called as the World Suicide Prevention Day or something connected to suicide. We were very young. We didn't have access to the internet, nor our elders spoke about it. It was a hush-hush affair if anybody committed a suicide in our colony. But today, we'd like to rise above all the traditional thought process and be more progressive. Let us speak openly about the topic suicide. Why do people commit suicides? Is it just because they're unhappy with life or they are asking for help? I'm sure from my end, if you ask me why do people commit suicide, is they need help. They need people to come and support them. And when they don't get support, that is the moment I think they decide or they finalize to take away their lives. This is my personal opinion, but I'd love to know the opinions and the views of other guests who are on my show called the International Fab Talks. It's beautiful when people join hand and unite together to create awareness and to make life feel worth living. Because when we don't have support or we don't have people who are there to support us, if you don't get support from your family, friends, and your neighborhood, there are strangers in the world who will really help you. Like, don't give up hope. There's hope at the end of the tunnel, or there's light at the end of the tunnel, they say. So we go and begin the session now. We'll hand over the session to Swarnika Das, who's here with us. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here, dear.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a beautiful introduction. I think I'll start speaking with a very personal experience, and if you can stop me if it's triggering to somebody or if it's not okay. So it started when I was in class 3. I used to go to school with my mother, and one morning I was just taking a rickshaw and I randomly look around and I see a body in an alley. And I did not know what it meant at that time because I was too young to understand what suicide is. So I looked around to my mother for help, and in order to understand what it meant, and I think it was her motherly instinct which made her close my eyes because she thought that it would have a lasting impression on my mind, and it surely did. I did not understand what suicide was as a child, but I still have that image ingrained in my head even today. And it is only, I thank my mother for it, I suppose, that she just did not let the incident or just did not tell me that forget about it. She was very okay to have a conversation about it. And made me sit down and she explained it to me that, Swarnika, you cannot look down upon people who commit suicide because the most common narrative is that why did people commit suicide? They could have talked to somebody, they could have reached out to somebody. But my mother said that it is, suppose, I'll just share an example. Suppose we get a simple cut on our body and we scream out of help, or we're not okay with it. Imagine somebody reaching to a point where they want to take their lives. So my mother said this to me that always try and understand from the perspective of the person who took their life. They are not cowards. They're people who fought till the end and could not find a way out of it. And I think that made me understand a very important thing in life, that it is not okay to look down upon anybody in any state. It is always necessary to understand that how would we react if we were in their shoes. And in pertaining to this story, I think I would just like to say that that particular incident and that particular conversation with my mother helped me understand the importance of mental health. It helped me understand the importance of openly communicating, but it also made me understand that it is not easy for everybody to openly communicate. Like Suhana mentioned in her conversation, that men are not okay with expressing their emotions. It is not just a gender thing. Obviously, men share less, but many women, people from other gender, also struggle to communicate their emotions. A lot of us are struggling inside, and all of us are looking for that one safe spot or safe place to come and say that I am not okay. Will you talk to me or will you listen to me? And I think I particularly want to emphasize on the role of individual responsibility. I think today, as an individual, it is very important that I empower myself to understand what mental health is, how I can become a safe place for somebody. I cannot say that I will necessarily become a safe place for everybody, but I can work and try and become safe place for somebody at least. And sometimes we are going through the day and we suddenly remember a friend, we suddenly remember somebody we met, and we wonder, are they doing okay? And I think everybody has that split second of time where we can message them, are you doing okay? And maybe that person is just in need, and they'll share, they'll open their heart to us, and that will help them a lot. And I think, being a student of law, I have also understood that like a mental health care act is very important in our country, but there are also need for various legislations which help us create space from the get going. Like, if there are protection against bullying, against discrimination in school, against discrimination in workplaces, people will have safety nets. Because when I talk about individual responsibility, I cannot guarantee that everybody understands the same. But at least when there is a procedural law in place, people will follow it to not break the law. And maybe eventually they will also understand the importance of it. Because if I cite an example, like, a lot of people do not commit crime because they will end up in jail. So, if we have laws in place, maybe people will eventually work towards building safe place, even if they might not understand it completely. But just for not breaking the law, they will ensure that they do not bully, they do not discriminate. Even that would be a start in a country like ours. And then maybe eventually we can simultaneously keep working towards creating awareness. Yeah, and so yeah, I would like to end my talk by saying that it is your individual responsibility to become safe place for yourselves and others, and we can also empower ourselves, or the legislature can empower ourselves by giving us certain legislations which will help in implementing safe places. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am. That's really nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. You have done justice. As you said, like, it's in our individual responsibility. Everyone are responsible for their own selves and for the people around them. Like, you can't be for everybody, but at least for someone you can be the change, or you could listen to them, comfort them. Thank you for sharing a childhood experience of yours. Right. And that reminded me of when I was 19 years old. I also seemed like someone, when you were sharing that, that was the moment I could remember. They were taking out
Yeah,
a young,
the picture comes back.
yeah, a young woman from the lake. She dropped into the lake, and we were passing that road, and they were the police people and all of them were fishing her body out of it. So I could, yeah, very clearly remember that. So there are various reasons for committing suicides. Hold on, don't give up your lives. And especially
Yeah.
in marriages, we request people to just wait. Marriage is not the end of life. If you're not happy in your marriage, please walk out of it. Have the guts to walk out of it. Don't kill yourself. That's what I'd like to say, because recently we have, so many cases that have come forward. So
Hmm.
that's what I felt like sharing. Because this lady was a married woman who fell into the pond. That's what I was
Yeah. Yeah.
wanting to share. So
Yeah.
I brought that
I
up.
also remember because this was the person who would cross me while I was going to get a rickshaw for school and everything. And he would wave to me. He would say hi to me. So this was somebody who I did not have a very close relationship with, but I still had a relationship with him because he was somebody who would say goodbye to me on my way to school and everything. So yeah, I think I will always remember him. That last image of him, I do not necessarily want it to be that image, but it is, unfortunately. But whenever I think of him, I think of this person who was smiling, who was laughing. But that is another point, if I just might add shortly, is that it is not visible, it is not seen. And that is why we need to work more harder to sometimes just be, to pay attention. Maybe I think in this generation, we are so short on attention span that we do not pay attention to people, their actions. I think only individually, if we can listen to somebody beyond the lines, we can just notice. Maybe that will, I think that will also change a lot of things. Yeah.
Well said, Swarnika ma'am. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank you.
rich treasure today getting all of you on platform and making you share that. That's really, it's really making me feel happy that there are so many people with such beautiful thought processes, and it makes the world a beautiful place. So see, friends, I don't know most of them. I think maximum all of you I don't know, but all of them have stood today and they're joining hands. So like this, you will also find somebody
Yeah.
who will stand with you. If you are in the right, they will stand with you. Even if you're in the wrong, they will bring you on the right track.
Yeah.
Don't give up your lives. This is what I'd love to share towards the end. Thank you so much, Swarnika ma'am. Stay connected.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ask for a life where you can face everything with a strong thought process. No, with this, we'd like to sign off now from the International Fab Talks. If you like what we are doing on the International Fab Talks, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. If you like what we are doing on the International Fab Talks, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Prioritize peace, and above all, you feel that you need help, connect with a professional or connect with a non-professional. No worries. Connect with somebody. Don't bottle up your emotions. Don't keep all the thoughts in your head. Write it down in a journal or speak to somebody. Reach out to us. Reach out to the right kind of platforms. If you'd love to reach out to the International Fab Talks, you'd love to share your story confidentially or on the platform for the public, you're most welcome. We will share our details in the description. You can connect with us through our email or WhatsApp number. We would love you to live a beautiful life because life is really a gift. It's a one-time gift. Stay blessed and stay connected.